The moment a crow decided you were safe and what it has told every crow in your neighborhood. There is a crow sitting on the wire above your yard right now. Maybe not at this exact moment, but if you have lived in the same house for more than a few months, there almost certainly is one, or was one, recently, watching. Not passing through, not looking for food, watching you. And here is the thing most people never realize. That crow has a file on you, not a metaphor, a real biological long-term memory file, built from every time you walked to your car, every time you filled your feeder, every time you glanced up and made eye contact. It has been building that file for months, and it has already shared it. Most people assume crows are opportunists. Smart, sure. Everyone knows crows are smart, but smart in a general way. The way we say a dog is smart or a raccoon is clever. The reality is something else entirely. Crows do not just recognize you, they categorize you. They remember you across seasons, they update their assessment of you over time, and they communicate that assessment, specifically individually about you, to other crows in the area. The crow on your neighbor's fence may never have seen you directly. It knows you anyway. If you have been quietly watching the birds in your yard, being gentle around your feeders, moving slowly, there is a real and measurable chance that the crows in your neighborhood have already marked you as safe. And if you have not been, they know that too. This channel is about the things happening in your yard that most people never see. If that is something you want more of, subscribing takes 1 second, and it means you will not miss what comes next. Now, let's talk about what crows actually know about you and how they decided. In 2008, researchers at the University of Washington did something unusual. They walked onto a university campus wearing rubber caveman masks and trapped crows. Not harmed, just captured, banded, and released. The whole process took a few minutes, then they waited. For the next several years, those same researchers, and others who had never trapped a single crow, walked the same routes on that campus. The researchers wearing the caveman masks were scolded, dive-bombed, and followed by crows. Sometimes by crows that had not even been born when the original trapping took place. The researchers who had never worn the masks walked through in peace. The crows had passed the memory down, not just remembered it themselves, passed it down. To offspring, to newcomers, to crows that arrived on campus years after the event. Your yard is not a university campus, but the principle is identical. The crows watching your yard have a social memory that extends far beyond any individual bird. What one crow learns about you, others can inherit. A crow's eye is built differently than yours. They see in 4 color channels, you see in 3. They detect ultraviolet light. Their visual processing is wired, in part, specifically for faces, a fact that surprised researchers when it was first documented. Because face-specific neural processing was considered a hallmark of primates, crows have it too. When a crow looks at you, it is not seeing a vague human shape near a feeder. It is reading your face the way you might read a familiar person's expression across a room. It is clocking the specific geometry of your features, storing them and filing them under whatever behavioral category you have earned. Safe, neutral, threat. That assessment gets refined over time. A crow that has watched you fill your feeder 100 times without incident has a very different file on you than a crow that watched you chase it off your lawn once in frustration. Both files are detailed, both are long-term, and the updating never fully stops. Here is the part that most people find genuinely difficult to absorb. Crows live in what researchers call a fission-fusion society. They split into smaller groups during the day, foraging, exploring, watching, and then reconvene at communal roosts at night. Some of these roosts contain thousands of birds. At those roosts, information moves. Not the way we share information, not through language, not through deliberate teaching, but through behavior, proximity, observation. A young crow watches an older crow react to a particular human face and learns something without being explicitly taught. A crow from 3 streets over joins your neighborhood's foraging group for a week and absorbs the local social knowledge. The researchers who studied this described it as a cultural transmission of individual human identities. You are not just known by the crows in your yard, you are known, to varying degrees of certainty, by the crows in your neighborhood, on your street, possibly in a radius of several blocks around your house. That crow sitting on the wire above your yard when you leave for work in the morning, it is not seeing a stranger. If this is the kind of thing you want to know about the birds in your yard, the real science, the specific details most people never hear, this channel is built exactly for that. Subscribing means the next one comes straight to you. This is where it becomes personal, because the crows in your yard are not making a binary judgment. They are making a continuous, nuanced, updated assessment, and the signals they are reading are specific. Slow movement near feeders registers as non-threatening. Sudden gestures register as potential threat. Eye contact held too long registers as challenge. Eye contact broken gently registers as deference. The fact that you move around your yard consistently, same routes, same times, same general behaviors, is itself a form of trust signal. Predictability reads as safety to a crow. Unpredictability reads as risk. Crows that have classified you as safe will do something that takes most people years to notice. They will stop moving away from you. Not all at once. Gradually, over weeks and months, the flight distance, the distance at which a crow decides to move away from an approaching human, shortens. A crow that once flushed at 30 feet may eventually hold its ground at 10. That is not familiarity in the casual sense. That is a trust decision made deliberately, updated continuously, and stored in a memory that will outlast the season and possibly the year. Pull back for a moment. There are an estimated 31 million American crows in North America. They are among the most widely distributed birds on the continent, present in virtually every suburban and urban yard, every tree line, every neighborhood. Every one of them is running this same process. Every crow in every neighborhood in every city is building and sharing a social map of the humans in its territory, assessing, filing, updating, passing information laterally through the flock and vertically to the next generation. The aggregate of that knowledge, the total sum of what crows know about individual humans across the continent, is something no single researcher can fully measure. What we do know is this: if you have lived in the same house for more than a year and there are crows in your area, you are almost certainly already in that network. Not as a concept, not as a type of human, as you, individually, specifically. A crow somewhere in your neighborhood knows your face, has an opinion about you, and has shared at least some version of that opinion with others. The question is just what that opinion is. Before we get to the last part, and this is the part most people find hardest to let go of, if you have watched this far and you are not subscribed yet, now is a good moment. Every video on this channel is built around one idea: your yard is far more extraordinary than it looks. Go back to that crow on the wire, the one that watches you leave in the morning. You probably assumed it was just there, resting, scanning for food, passing through on its way to somewhere else. The kind of background detail you stop noticing after a while. But it was not background. It was paying attention in a way that is, when you sit with it, genuinely extraordinary, filing your face, updating its assessment, participating in a network of shared social knowledge that stretches across your neighborhood and has been operating quietly and continuously for as long as crows have lived near humans, which is a very long time. Your yard is not just a place where birds happen to appear. It is a place where birds know you, specifically, individually, and in more detail than most people ever imagine. That crow was never just watching. It was remembering. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had a crow act differently toward you than toward other people nearby? Or noticed one that seemed to know you specifically? I want to hear about it. I read every single one.